Oh, I liked his old armor better. Hey, even his current one looks more imposing, and it still shows his face. Veritas of the Frost Trustmaster reward is a materia. Boasting a double human killer and a big dual-wielding attack boost, it's pretty good now that the ladder cap has been raised to 400%. His Super Trustmaster reward is the Frostblade. Somehow remaining non-elemental, this katana has the best attack in its category, and further boasts an extra equipment attack boost if your unit's dual-wielding. Furthermore, when equipped to Frosty Boy here, he'll get an extra 1500 attack. Unfortunately, this cool passive doesn't stack with two of these. Onto his active abilities. And Blizzaga will imbue ice onto your team, and boost their ice damage by 35%. Manslayer is unlocked at EX plus 3, giving your team the power to slay men. Elemental Power, Ice, is unlocked at EX plus 2, imbuing ice onto one unit and boosting their ice damage by 60%. On the turn after that, that boost will rise to 80%. And on the turn after that, 100%. No clue what this does. Ice-Shorn Execution deals ice damage at chains of absolute Mirror of Equity, and inflicts a 120% ice imperil. Onyx Execution is a weaker dark version with no imperil. Rakshasa Sword Dance will boost your team's attack and magic by 250%, and their limit burst damage by 200%. Silverite Stratagem will boost your team's ice damage by 45%, their attack, magic, and limit burst damage by 300%, and activates an ice field buff that further boosts your team's ice damage by another 30%. Unfortunately, the buffs don't last as long as the ability's cooldown, though the field effect doesn't suffer as much. Cleaving Execution chains a Floating Strike. Passives. With his Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Veritas of the Frost gains a whopping 2000 attack. He's got 6 strong killers, half to cap the limit burst damage, and has a hefty limit burst regen. He prefers to carry 2 weapons, though he meets the full cap to the chain limit boost regardless. His normal attack has been changed to attack, filling his limit burst gauge by 1/10. The Veritas armor also automatically absorbs ice damage, even though his chin is right out there in the open. At EX plus 2 he gets Warring Spirit. At EX plus 3 he gets 500 attack. Let's look at his limit burst. It inflicts a 120% ice imperil and deals ice damage. As a super limit burst user, Veritas of the Frost has access to attack shift, which automatically boosts his attack by 250%, his limit burst damage by 200%, and fills his limit burst gauge when the super limit burst is ready to go. The super limit burst inflicts a 25% katana imperil, raises the ice imperil to 130%, and deals more ice damage. Time to talk about leader skills. When he's set as the leader, units listed as Ice or Japan Adversary will gain a 100% boost to their attack and magic. More on that later. Time to make a damage rotation. On turn 1, cast Rakshasa Sword Dance, and Blizzaga, and Ice-Shorn Execution. You can ignore the buffs if someone else has that covered. On turn 2, triple cast Ice-Shorn Execution. On turn 3, cast Silverite Stratagem, fill Limit Burst if necessary, and Ice-Shorn Execution. On turn 4, use his Limit Burst. On turn 5, use his Super Limit Burst. Triple cast Ice-Shorn Execution from here, maintaining his secondary buffs until Silverite Stratagem is ready to be used again. So, EX2? He doesn't benefit as much in the regular way. Even though Veritas of the Frost automatically benefits from additional EX awakenings as a super limit burst user, his limit bursts are nevertheless weighed down by his cooldowns. You can still speed it up to get more damage out, but you can also just use someone else for damage on those off turns. However, to compensate, EX plus 2 also unlocks Elemental Power, Ice, granting him one of the best ice buffs in the game. His Super Trustmaster reward is also pretty strong, especially as we get more dual-wielding units, and especially for Veritas of the Frost. EX plus 3 is Stats and Manslayer, which already would be difficult to swallow given the price of EX plus 3, but active human killers are also one of the most common thanks to the number of global units who just hate men. So how good is Veritas of the Frost? It's easy to forget in the midst of this event, but he's just a normal unit. His limit burst modifiers are a bit lower than the oldest of premium damage dealers, kind of like Marine-type Runda, but he does make up for it with his stats. However, he certainly wouldn't have minded more modifiers, because as a result, despite having pretty good stats, his damage isn't that good for a neo-attacker. Thankfully, he has a second road to compensate, that of a supporter. What he does boast is pretty good, particularly a 300% limit burst damage boost, a strong ice field buff, and possibly 100% ice, if he's at EX plus 2. However, despite being strong, they're also short, and they happen to be on cooldown abilities of notably imbalanced wait times, so he very much prefers short fights. That goes double looking at his defensive kit, because just like his chin, he has nothing to cover that. Unless of course he's getting hit by ice. But regardless of that ice protection, he'll likely need extra stuff for other situations, which then cuts even more into his already average damage. Still, it's this kind of thing that makes you really appreciate leader skills, because until someone evens the playing field, even Veritas of the Frost can become pretty impressive. But what about his leader skill? It sucks. It covers the same categories as last was, but its stat boosts suck. Now of course it's good if you have nothing at all, but that's not a high bar. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you summon Veritas of the Frost. Despite having some nice stuff, he has a few too many things holding him back. Like that chin.